So we will now go to our next step. I actually like this step a lot. And it's pretty easy. So we're gonna do this and kind of wrinkle the little edge and kind of stretch it down a little bit, you know, like twisting it down. Not too much, but just enough. And then on this here, we're gonna do the same thing. We're going to wrinkle all the way to the inside. You want it to look kind of like that. And then step 3, the other side. And we just go like that. Now here at the edge, you want to heat it up and then kind of like do a little twist. Very subtle, just so it looks kind of wrinkled like a normal sunflower. And right here, when we go here, you're going to want to do this one folds over this and this one over that. And it's going to look like a little boat like that. And there's kind of your leaf. Look how pretty it looks. And you can notice the orange is not that noticeable. It's just a shadow, you know, when we were painting. So we're gonna go ahead and glue it initially. You know, usually I like to do this until the end, but let's do it in this step. And we are gonna use our glue gun or our craft glue. And go ahead and glue these little edges so we can just have it ready for when we are going to glue it to the bud. So we just put on this side and on this side, or with your glue, with your silicone glue gun, and you hold this like that. You see how it's a little bit wrinkled here, and it doesn't look, it shouldn't look perfect. It's not like a perfect line, but you know, I've seen, I mean, I like all sunflower styles, but I like it a little bit more natural, not that perfect looking. So we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna go through the center, kind of fold it right through the middle and kind of like twist it down. Okay, and then we're gonna go through one side and we're gonna do the same little thing, the same little pinch that goes around it like that. And then we're going to do the other side. And honestly, this is what I love about thermoforming. I will have in the near future a membership for the real giant flowers. Here we're gonna twist, where we will show you how to make giant molds. You see how it looks a little bit wrinkled? So that gives it, like, to me, a very natural thing. And then we will heat this one again and make sure this part goes over this and this over here. So we get something pressed like that. And then we just give it a little down. So we're gonna glue it again. And just hold it. So you see, it's like really 4 steps. Center, side, side, no, 5 steps. And then a wrinkle here and a fold here. So it's 5 steps of the thermoforming. So let's count the steps so you can kind of, first is the initial center pinch, which we use it a lot in lots of our flowers that we do. I use this a lot because I like hiding the wire there. Depends on the flower. There's some you can't really do that. And then we pinch this other towards the inside. You see? And step 3 of thermoforming, we go the other side. And then step 4, we're going to pinch this and kind of twist a little bit. And open it up. And then we're going to close our petal here. And then we're just going to put a little bit of dab of glue. So you can find this glue on the website. I, pour it into these, but these bottles are they're not that good as the ones that are in the website, because they're just a little bit, you know, it drops less. And you want it to be so here you go. So we're gonna do this with all 8, 16, with all 32 petals. And then we twist it down. Then we place it back down again. Now, very important, when you do the sides, try to have it on a flat surface, because then it starts going down and you want it to be heated, you know, kind of flat. Like, I'll show you if you don't do it like that in the second one, because I forgot that little step. You know, I always do it on a flat surface, except here, right? You pinch it here and you twist it, and you get that little thing there. And then we're gonna heat this. This one obviously has to be like in a flat surface. It's like when you do the paper flowers, that you cut them and then go one in the other. But this, in the case of foam, this is actually what makes it the flower sturdy, and you can avoid, in some cases, wiring it. Because sometimes you really don't want to wire it because you don't need it to move. Like in this case, when it's thermoformed in several forms like that, you really don't need it to wire it to hold its and look how pretty the shadows look of the orange. They're very subtle. You can't even see it's painted. And here you can see it's painted. You know, but when you start thermoforming it, that tone, I guess the heat just turns it into a, and here I do pick it up from the flat table so it can go a little bit down. And we're going to heat this area up and just pinch all this part. And here we go. So we just do this, and we twist. And here, we go. So we're just going to place a little bit of glue here. You can't even see the ugly cuts. It doesn't bother you anymore because it's just so natural. That's one of the big differences between foam and paper. That in paper you cannot make a mistake, but on foam it's like, I won't notice, it doesn't matter. You know, because you can always re-thermoform it again. So that's one of the wonders I love about foam. One of the things I don't, which I probably shouldn't say, but is that you can't get it into the Cricut. It just like takes forever. So I'm going to go ahead, and so this video won't be so long, and I'm going to start doing some the big petals, and it's exactly the same 5 steps to thermoform. You will do the center, exactly the same thing. You will pinch the center. This is a bigger one. You will try to, you know, this one you do pick it up and you kind of twist it down, kind of a little bit of curvature. And then you do one side. So that's step 3. Step 4, we do this. And we pinch. Make sure you don't twist it too hard. It's just like a soft little pinch, you know? And then we're gonna do this down here. And we're going to do that. You see? Now this is the big leaf. This is the one that's gonna get us the 18-20 inch piece. And there you go. Look how pretty that looks. Really pretty. So now let me do another big one. So you're gonna go like this to all your 32 petals. And pass it enough. And here we twist it down a little bit. I don't want this video. And then you go to step number 2. You go through the side. Step number 3. I think I'm gonna do one with a heat gun steps if in case somebody has a heat gun, you know, so you can see that it's basically the same thing. You just gotta get used to the heat gun or the iron, or let me get the heat gun so you can see. I have it right here. Because I do use a heat gun in some cases, but it's a little bit more right here. So I'm gonna put it right there. Just in case somebody's working with a heat gun, you can see how you can do it. So I'm gonna put it on low. I'm just gonna pass the center part. I'm gonna put it on. And you just do the same thing. Fold it. Now when you pass, make sure you don't pass through that part that you already went through. So you just do this and you follow the same guidelines. You go like that. And then you go through the other side. And you go on this side. Make sure you don't burn yourself. Now, I will get the edge and do the same little thing we did with the other one, and we'll twist. And right here, so this is the same thing. We do here. I guess I'm just used to the other one, you know, to my hairstyler. But you see, it's the exact same thing. So this is using your heat gun. If you use an iron, it's the same thing. You just press it to the iron. I actually have this big grill, which is what I use when I do I have humongous productions. I just use this humongous grill, and when you're gonna use a 3mm and just heat it there. In some cases, depends, but you know, if you're going to do more flowers, I suggest you get one of these. If it's just for fun, then you know, use whatever you got. It's just oh, I want to make one. The thing I do have to tell you is once you make one and you have it there and people just go crazy over it, you will see, because it's very different in a picture than when you see it full blown. You're gonna want to do the next one. You're gonna, okay, I gotta make it a little sister, a little brother, and you know, my flowers are like my baby girls, right? I just love them, and they just keep on like, oh no, my white anemone needs a little sister, so she needs now the yellow one. And it just keeps on going. And before you know it, your house will be a flower forest. Sometimes that's how my house looks, like a flower forest. They call it the flower forest. So it's flowers, 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 all about flowers. And there you go. So we're just gonna continue, finish these off, and I will see you in the next step. So we are now ready to start thermoforming the leaves we just painted. We will pass our heat gun through the middle and just kind of make, first step is just kind of folding it in half and making it a very strong line here. Take one side, the other side, and make sure we have a fold. That's where we're going to pass our wire. Now that we have that, we're going to kind of wrinkle this up like an accordion, like a fan. So you're going to go towards the upside, kind of like that. And you're just going to press it, and that's your little wrinkle. Now we're going to go the other side. And we're going to do the same little fan towards the upside. And you're going to wrinkle. And you've got your little leaf. Now, in this case, we're going to stretch out the edges so you can pass. You can do this with your heat gun, and you're going to just open this up like this. So that's all. It's very, very simple. And just stretch it out. And that's it. Make sure you get your center, because when we glue it, we're going to glue it like this. So you got your wrinkled little leaf. So we're gonna go leaf number 2. First step, right in the center. Pretty heated, because this is where we want it really, really well. This line has to be perfectly marked, like if it were a. So once it's like that, give it a stronger mark, and you just kind of, and then we're going to do our little fan on one side. So remember, the fan is towards the outside. You get this heated up. And then we press it. And it's wrinkled. And now we're going to go to the other side. And we're going to fan it out. And we're going to wrinkle. So there you go. We keep our central line. And now we stretch the edges, okay? Just so it kind of opens back up again. And you just stretch it. Very subtle. You want to get it back to be looking like a leaf and not a fan. Stretch it. stretch here, stretch here, and stretch here. And then we're just going to make sure this little central part, and there's really thermoform. You can see the wrinkles on it, the tones on it. So now we're going to do leaf number 3. And we're going to go through it and make sure we get that center fold. And my hands are unbelievable full of glue and stuff, but I have been recording for days and just been, so remember, towards the outside, we're gonna fold this up like a little fan, like wrinkle it up, and we hold it. And we open it up and it's already wrinkled. Now we're going to do the other side. And we're going to hold it back up. And we wrinkle. And we've got our little line. We keep our little line. And then we're going to go through the edges. Actually, I'm going to use my little, oh, it's off. For the edges, I kind of use this one. It's just easier to me. It's just off. It should be heating up again. Well, okay. So, see here? I'm going to stretch this out, stretch this out, stretch this out. Go. Look at that, how pretty. So that's third. And then fourth one, now I'm going to do it with this one. Just so you can see both ways. It's basically the same thing. So we mark it. And then we're going to heat up the same thing. I'm going to go through it and we're going to wrinkle it. And there's the wrinkles. Now we're going to do the same thing. And we're going to wrinkle it. And now the edges. Stretch them out, and there's your stretch. And we stretch them out, and there we go. And here we go. And you've got your 4 leaves. 1, 2, 3, 4. They're all properly wrinkled. And thermoform is getting ready to get white. And we're going to go on to the next step.